Hello and a very warm welcome. When the Twitter hashtag at the start of the World Cup said, "Won't give it back," not too many people took it very seriously. The fact that India were defending champions was only mentioned in hushed whispers. For the first time now, though, it feels like the defending champion team went out to play. And what a fabulous match this was. Andrew Symonds is joining us. Andrew, I hope you're liking the spectacular performance being put up by the Indian team.
Yeah, when I arrived in the country, I was asked the question, do I think India can win the World Cup? And, you know, the Indian people generally thought they weren't a chance, they weren't a hope after the way they played in the one-day series in Australia. But I think having seen India play today, I can feel that everyone's opinion of India's chances has definitely changed. They put on a magnificent display there today with bat, ball and...
But what do you think changed? Because just a couple of weeks ago, we were getting hammered by England, we got hammered by Australia, and suddenly against South Africa, it feels like we're world champions again.
Yeah, well, I think the beauty of the World Cup is it's its own thing. Everyone wants to win it. And as you said earlier, India are the holders of the World Cup. So they're not going to lay down and just give it away to someone else. You know, they had a chance to reset now, and they've had two very good wins against Pakistan and now South Africa. So their confidence now will be going through the roof, and rightfully so.
I want to take you to Melbourne. Joining us from there is my colleague Boria Majumdar. Boria, what seems to have changed over the past couple of weeks? There was a lot of talk before the World Cup started about fatigue wearing in, about the Indian team looking listless, about not being able to beat England, forget Australia. And suddenly against South Africa, they turned it on. And how?
Rahul, firstly, you're not playing Australia. That was big. Against Pakistan, it was a fragile Pakistani team. You've seen them hammered by the West Indies as well. That break between the Tri-Series and the World Cup did India a lot of good. All players are fit. Did not happen in the Tri-Series. Not 15 were fit. Now you've got a full team to choose from. Against South Africa today, they were brilliant. They were absolutely magical. You won the toss in both games. That has been very, very critical. See this tournament. Team that wins the toss posts 300 on the board. The opposition is finding it very tough to match it. So all these factors going India's way, suddenly they look contenders. I must make this point. 88,000 people at the MCG, more than Australia v England, 85,000 of them Indians. This is a blue invasion. While I was walking to our makeshift studio here, waiting for Saurav Ganguly, you know, I have not seen scenes like this. Ask Andrew Symonds. He's played at this ground. Has he ever seen 85,000 foreigners in an Australian cricket ground singing "Jeetega bhai Jeetega, India Jeetega"?
As Harsha Bhogle has been saying, Melbourne tonight is only on the map in Australia. Otherwise, it's been taken over by Indians. Andrew.
I would say so. Yeah, they'll be dancing in the streets tonight, and rightfully so. You know, India have completely outplayed South Africa there tonight. So yeah, and as I said earlier, I think that the feel around India and the feel in Australia of the Indian supporters will now be that India are a red hot chance to back this up.
Nikhil, so far the bowling was India's weak spot. Suddenly we saw India's pace bowlers coming in, bowling really well, pitching it up, ensuring that the South African batsmen didn't get away, and the spinners bowling very tight too.
The difference is you've got 300 runs on board to back the bowlers. You know, you come bowl hard with a great amount of intensity. The new balls made the difference. With the new ball, you pick up a couple of wickets that allows the spinners to let the ball hang in the air. You know, you bowl slower through the air, more revolutions, little bit of purchase. You haven't been pushed against a ball as yet in terms of your bowling department like you were during the CB series, the triangular. The difference has been the batting looks really solid, and the mantra has been that keep wickets in hand in the first 10. We were only, 36 of 10, Rahul, and then the shifting of gears took place, and that's why we said that Ajinkya Rahane played an outstanding inning. It was good to see at least Shikhar Dhawan get back into form, but the man who shifted gears and got the momentum for Team India was actually Ajinkya Rahane getting 79.
And it's a bit like the comparison with Rahul Dravid, where Rahul would play well but always get overshadowed either by Saurav Ganguly or by Sachin Tendulkar. Bit seems to be happening in the same fashion with Ajinkya Rahane. We will of course focus on his innings in a big way over the next 1 hour, but for the time being I want to go across to Rashesh Madnani. He's joining us from Mumbai, and also with us at this time is Amir Haq from the city of Nawabs, Lucknow. Let's go across to Rashesh first. Rashesh, I see you're at a Maidan. Did these boys get to watch the match at all, or were they playing their own cricket?
Rahul, they were obviously playing their own cricket, but I would think that their one eye was on the India-South Africa game. A lot of them were saying that. In fact, this is a mix of some cricketers, some TV artists who were playing their own game. Shantanu, I believe you are a TV artist, but like you were saying, this was the game you had your eyes on, and what a resounding win for India.
Yeah, definitely, man. In such a cool way. Shikhar Dhawan got his form back, though he played pretty well against Pakistan also. But yeah, I mean, so he got his form back like how? Like the way he performed. I had this opportunity. I saw the first half, the batting half of India, and then I couldn't watch the rest of the match. But I
saw the right half. But even before the World Cup began, we were talking if Shikhar Dhawan should retain his place. He's come back on a high, hasn't he?
Yes, definitely. He has proved his point, and his selection is right.
And you're happy with the way Indian bowlers bowl as well? I mean, India is now sort of marching its way towards the quarterfinals.
Yes, I think the bowlers have received a lot of flake over the last 3 to 4 months in the Australian tour. So I guess they had a point to prove, and they're proving it in a big way. And both the big matches, they won comfortably. Of course, we are playing to our strength, batting. So in both the matches, we scored 300. So that's a good sign. The team is probably peaking at the right time, and let's hope they live up to the expectations.
Making the right noise is all of these fans who had their eyes glued on the India-South Africa game, and I think the sense one gets is that all of them are now a lot more confident than they were when the World Cup began, that India is proving to be a serious contender.
Thanks, Rashesh. There was a match in Delhi too between the police commissioners 11 and the reporters 11, and constantly through the match I was getting calls asking about updates on what was happening in the big match in Melbourne. I was wondering, why did these guys go out and play today if this is what they were more interested in? Let's go across to the streets of Melbourne. Joining us from there is Aaj Tak's cricket editor and a big cricket aficionado himself, Vikrant Gupta. Wow, this is where I want to be. Vikrant, you've got me stuck in the wrong place while you're having the fun on the streets.
You can come next week, Rahul. The way the Indians have played, they are serious contenders. Melbourne, March 29th, there is a possibility. And just imagine, 86,000 fans inside the ground, 70,000 Indians. And if it's the World Cup final, even if it's against Australia, do not expect a single seat to go to anybody who's not an Indian. These guys will party all night. I think now more than the words, the pictures more than justify the way that the Indians have played. There's all kinds of drama here. There's all kinds of celebrations that we're looking at. I've got, if Zahir could show, there's a 2-year-old girl who's with her mother, and she's part of the celebration. It can only happen in Indian cricket. It has happened after a long time.
Well, be Mumbai, it could be Kolkata, but it is Melbourne instead. And I travelled to Melbourne with the Indian Prime Minister, and I got the distinct feeling that it had been taken over by the Chinese in a big way. It seemed like a Chinese colony when I was travelling to Melbourne with the Indian Prime Minister. Today, this is an Indian colony. It's been taken over completely by the Indians. Vikrant Gupta having a great time. They're barely able to get his word across.